Hugh Edwards facing the camera, not his usual one in the BBC studios, but the Metropolitan Police's after he was arrested. This, his custody photo, a far cry from his smart on-screen image.
Mr. Edwards, do you apologise? Mr. Edwards, do you apologise for your crimes?
Now a convicted sex offender, he came with a suitcase, prepared if his punishment was prison. The court heard disturbing and graphic details of his crimes, descriptions of the videos of children, including one as young as 7 that he looked at, and money he gave to another sex offender who sent them to him. The images were discovered in the WhatsApp messages of Alex Williams, who sent them to Edwards. The police were unable to find the former newsreader's phone that he'd used to look at them. Edwards' responses to the 41 indecent images are particularly revealing. In one exchange, he describes the images Williams has sent as amazing. Williams then says he can try and get more videos, if you like, 13, 14, 15, 16. Months later, Edwards says, don't send underage. But in another exchange, when Williams describes images he's offering as young, Edwards replies, go on. As the judge sentenced him, he listened intently, emotional as the court heard about his mental health problems, his suicide risk, and an upbringing where his failure to get into Oxford left him feeling like an outsider at the BBC.
Edwards, through his barrister, apologised. He said he wanted the court to know how profoundly sorry he was, that the images were repugnant, and he recognised the hurt done to those in them, that he had betrayed the trust and faith of so many people and hurt and damaged his family.
But the police clear that when Edwards looked at the pictures and videos, exploited children were the victims here.
Behind every image is a vulnerable child that has been violated, that has been subject to abuse, and the continuing sort of distribution of those images only goes to service that demand.
Tonight at 10, thousands of police
Edwards was at the top of his career and the BBC, the man entrusted to tell the nation the Queen had died.
BBC Television is broadcasting this special programme reporting the death of Her Majesty the Queen.
Reading the news until he became it, initially suspended by the BBC last year in the aftermath of separate allegations in The Sun that he'd paid a young vulnerable man for explicit photos. The BBC, criticised for still paying him more than £200,000 after they knew he'd been arrested, said, "We are appalled by his crimes. He has betrayed not just the BBC, but audiences who put their trust in him."
It is difficult to think of a more startling reversal of circumstances from respected newsreader to convicted criminal. He'll now go on the sex offenders register.
As the judge said, his reputation is in tatters. Edwards breaking not just the trust viewers placed in him, but the law. Lucy Manning, BBC News.